If gaming journalism is a joke, then Gamespot are the punchline. These guys are awful. Many know that these big reviewing companies can't be trusted anyways. A lot of their reviews are really stupid, but these guys are the guys that said this.
New Super Mario Bros. Wii is a tough game, old school tough, so you better bring your butt-stomping A-game, as this will test even the most seasoned platforming veterans.
The reason I'm making this video is because recently GameSpot gave Spongebob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated a 2 out of 10. Which obviously it's not a 2 out of 10 game. IGN also gave it only a 5 out of 10, but at least that review didn't complain about the difficulty of the game. Yeah, I know, shocking. One big issue I have with GameSpot and their review scale, as you're seeing, is that these are just numbers with words next to them that go from abysmal to essential, basically the worst word they can think of to describe something to the best word they can think of to describe something. They don't mean anything. Like, it's just putting a number next to something. Whereas, and I'm going to praise IGN again, they have a whole page on their website where you can see what the score means, give examples of games that have received that score, and give something for the reviewer to base it off of. Now, both of these websites also use a 10-point system, which is why I think it's fair to base these two systems off of each other. You can see here that IGN gave The Culling 2, a game that servers were on for about a week and played no more than like 10 games. They gave that a 2. You're telling me that The Culling 2, a game which isn't even playable anymore because of how bad it is, and SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated are the same score? I think not. But let's get into the real meat here, the review itself. One of the very first points that this review makes is probably one of the stupidest things it could possibly do. I'm about to show you a clip from the first technical point that they make in this video, and tell me if you spot what's wrong with it.
In one section of the puzzle, all you need to do is stand on a button, and that button opens a gate for you to bowl a bubble into so you can progress. The only problem is that during SpongeBob's wind-up animation for bowling, he walks forward. That means you fall off of the button, which closes the gate and prevents you from bowling the bubble where you intended, when you intended.
If you said the issue here was that he showed how fucking easy it is to do this before he then complained about how difficult it is to do, you're a winner. Like, this guy literally is talking about how easy it is, and then shows him failing it like 6 times in a row, and complains about it being hard. Is it easy or hard, dude? Like, what are we supposed to get here? Obviously, the answer is that it's easy, because it's a SpongeBob game that first graders can beat, but like, come on. Don't worry, though, the genius of this man only goes up from here.
Platforms are slow, and you have to jump on them often. If you miss them, you end up bored sitting there, looking at an idle animation for too long while you listen to the same short SpongeBob loop on repeat.
Oh yeah, God, I wouldn't have to suffer through having to wait on that platform for a couple seconds after I grab a collectible. Looks awful. Thank God GameSpot warned me about this. I would hate to have to go through all that.
Sometimes there are robots placed right at the end of those sequences that are too large for your character to move around properly because of their lack of mobility. It just feels cruel.
This is just another one where maybe this is a legitimate point in the game, but the gameplay doesn't show that at all. It shows that you have plenty of space and you end up with full health after the fight anyways. The clip I'm about to show you has multiple layers of bad points and just stupid shit in general, so see if you can comprehend what you're about to see.
Multiple points in the game where I climbed up to the top of a high structure and a rogue robot knocked me all the way down into the water. Ironically, none of the protagonists can swim, so I instantly died and respawned at a checkpoint. Having to start all over is truly deflating.
This is just so funny to me. He obviously just went in and recorded this because he forgot to get footage for it when he was playing through it originally. I know, I've been there, I've had to go get footage again. It's not that hard, dude. Just play through the game a little bit and see where your legitimate quote-unquote concern comes back up. Now, the next funny thing to me is that he's complaining about an enemy trying to kill you by knocking you off of something. Like, yeah, that's what it's there for, obviously. That's intentional. Like, there is an enemy trying to knock you off of a small ledge, so you have to dodge said enemy's attacks. Like, is that really that hard, dude? And then my favorite part is that he says it is truly deflating to have to start all over again, when it shows him spawn back in at a checkpoint about 5 seconds back from where he was before. This literally would not have taken any time off of a speed run, and this dude is saying, "Oh God, I just got to put the game down. I can't keep going through like this." Also, as a stupid side note, because he made a snarky remark about this in the thing, he says, "Ironically, none of our characters can swim. It's well established that they can't swim in the show, even though they're underwater. You know, just because you live at the bottom of the ocean doesn't necessarily mean you can swim. Look at crabs, for example. Those guys are not big swimmers, and they live at the bottom of the ocean." Now, it definitely should be noted that he made some fair points in his whole thing. I'm only showing the clips I find funny. There is a lot of nitpicking, though, and he constantly complains about the fact that this game is just a remaster and not like a complete remake of the game, and it didn't change certain things that he wanted them to change, which they said multiple times. They were just trying to up the graphics and bring it back. And so it should have the same level of difficulty as the first game, which doesn't seem too difficult. If you're ever actually relying on reviews to decide whether you're going to pick up a game or not, I would definitely look at multiple reviews if you're going to go to these websites, or just wait a couple days and watch YouTube reviews. A lot of times these can be much more honest and you know the opinion they're coming from. Donkey has a great video about this called Game Reviewers, which I'll put in the description, which is hilarious and talks about how these guys are not exactly the most consistent and trustworthy. Now that I've been armed with knowledge by GameSpot, I'm going to make my own GameSpot review. Hi everybody, today I'm doing my GameSpot review for Sonic Mania. Now of course this game is well known to be one of the toughest games of all time, like old school tough. The game's controls kind of suck because it's an old game, yeah, and I hate this game. 2 out of 10. Should have given me Last of Us.